Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the Casual Sports Podcast NFL Draft Edition. It's day one of the NFL Draft. We're going to be going live reactions for every pick here on day one. As always, it's myself, Alek, and
I'm Matt Morrison. We're
Yeah.
here to talk about the NFL Draft today, so let's get going.
Matt Morrison. We're bringing him in live on a Skype call here, so audio may not be the best. But without any further ado, we're going to get right on to the first pick here. We got about 10 minutes till the NFL Draft starts. So we're going to talk a little bit about Cincinnati Bengals. Matt, what do you think here?
Well, I think they're going to go Joe Burrow. They're getting a guy that knows how to win and knows how to get things done. But I hope there's going to be players around him that can help him get things done. I don't know. We'll see as the season comes in, if a season happens.
Yeah, I like Joe Burrow here as well. And it already looks like that he's going to end up here. Owner of the Cincinnati Bengals has already sent Joe Burrow a letter welcoming him to the team. He sent him all of the gear already. I like him here. I think he's probably best quarterback in the draft. The Bengals need a quarterback more than they need a defensive lineman. I'm excited to see what he's able to do this season, and I hope he can make some noise. It's going to be interesting in the AFC North coming here with Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, and big old Ben over there in Pittsburgh. We got 3 Heisman Trophy winners, then a kid from Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
4 Super Bowls.
All right, we are back. The pick is finally in. Let's go. We're all pretty sure who it's going to be, but...
Here we go.
Yeah.
With the first pick in the 2020 draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Joe Burrow, quarterback, LSU.
All right, so Joe Burrow, everybody, that's who we all expected.
Yes.
You got anything to say about this, Matt?
I think Joe Burrow is a very great quarterback. Gonna get them done.
All right, we're just going to go ahead and start talking second pick here since Washington Redskins are now on the clock. They got 7 minutes to make their pick. Matt, who do you think is going number 2? Chase Young, I would tend to agree with that one. He's really the number one player in this draft, but the Bengals needed the quarterback and they wanted their guy from Cincinnati or from Ohio, I mean. So you don't think Washington's gonna pull something tricky here? Maybe take a trade down?
We'll just have to wait and see, but I'm just going with
So you're just taking the straight up prediction here. You're gonna go Chase Young from Ohio State. All right.
With the second pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Chase Young, defensive end, Ohio State.
All right, so the second pick is in. It's going to be Chase Young from The Ohio State University. Once again, another pick we expected to happen. This makes me nice and happy. We got a Buckeye coming off number 2. This is going to send the Detroit Lions on the clock right now. But Matt, initial reactions from the Chase Young.
Oh man, this is gonna be amazing. Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, you better watch out because here comes Chase Young. Okay? Like he's teaming up with his old Ohio State buddy, Dwayne Haskins. I think we're going to see a pretty interesting.
And don't forget about Terry McLaurin's on that team as well.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin's on that team too.
Terry McLaurin can rip it up as well out there. He one of the best rookie wide receivers for a good part of the season last year. I love this pick here. Chase Young is a very talented athlete. He's got a lot of upside, but I think they're going to have to be careful not to hype him up too much. Because there was a lot of hype on Dwayne Haskins as well, and he didn't necessarily pan out so far. You know, I'm hoping Chase Young does a lot better than Dwayne did in his rookie year, but I'm a little bit skeptical because I've been watching some tape, and a lot in those past 3 games of the season when Chase Young amounted for 0 sacks, he didn't look that great. There was a few moments, most of the games he's double teamed, but when he's getting in these only being one-on-one, he's not. At least in those last 3 games facing elite offensive tackles, he wasn't breaking through like we see when he was facing teams like Indiana or Rutgers. He wasn't getting his breakaway speed, and at times he almost seemed like he didn't want to. I think maybe he lost a little bit of motivation after his suspension. I'm hoping he gets that motivation back and just comes in rookie year and starts dominating.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I mean, he's going to come out. The NFL is going to welcome him with open arms. This guy's going to be something in this league for years to come.
All right, so now we're going to get on to the third pick here. Detroit Lions. They got 2 minutes left on the clock, and the pick is now in. Quickly, Matt, what is your prediction for the number 3 pick?
I'm going to go with another Buckeye, Jeff Okudah. I think he's going to fit.
I'm taking the same thing here. Number 1 defensive back in the nation. Ohio State had one hell of a defense this past season with those 2 guys there. I have no doubt this is who should go number 3. But we're in those first 5 picks. We had a little something last year. I think it was the Oakland Raiders took somebody that nobody thought they were going to take. I hope that doesn't happen here. It should be Jeff Okudah. I'm interested to see what happens though.
With the third pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Jeff Okudah, defensive back, Ohio State.
That's exactly who we thought that one was going to be, and it just brings a smile to my face. Another Buckeye coming off the board early. I mean, if you look at this right away, we basically just had 3 Buckeyes go number 1, 2, 3. I mean, yeah, Joe Burrow went down to LSU, and that's what made him a top-tier quarterback was LSU, but he's an Ohio boy, so we're gonna take credit here in Buckeye Nation anyways. What's your initial reaction from this one, Matt?
Jeff Okudah, oh man. This guy's going to be something else on this Detroit defense. We'll see what comes out of him. Maybe the defense will help Detroit become better this year with adding this quarterback.
All right. So Jeff Okudah now off the board. It's going to take the New York Giants to now the 4th pick of the draft. They're now on the clock. I have Isiah Simmons, the linebacker from Clemson, going here. What do you got?
I'm going to go offensive. I'm going to say Tristan Wirfs, offensive tackle here.
Oh, okay. Wait, so you think Tristan Wirfs is going to come off before Jedrick Wills Jr.?
Yeah.
That's a bold statement because they have Jedrick Wills as the number 1 offensive lineman in this draft.
I think Detroit's going to take this Tristan Wirfs guy.
It's the New York Giants.
This guy coming from Iowa, he's built like nothing else. He protected Nate Stanley for a long time, So I think this is the right pick.
That would be an interesting decision for the Giants to make. Everybody saying that they're going to pick this lineman. That'd be interesting to see here. Maybe you'll be right about this. I don't know.
With the 4th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Andrew Thomas, tackle, Georgia.
Andrew Thomas.
Wow, Andrew Thomas. I didn't have him coming off the board until the 13th pick. This is already a big surprise here. I mean, this is total Giants fashion, taking somebody completely out of nowhere. I mean, they took Danny Dimes at number 5 last year, so I mean, what to expect with just taking something completely random here? You were calling for the offensive lineman here. I wasn't buying it, but you picked it. Not the guy you thought, but still, wow. There was some talk about, I think a week ago, they started talking. Andrew Thomas was like, I believe I'm the best offensive tackle in the draft, and here we are now, number 1 tackle off the board. So, we're gonna have to see how this pans out. They need some protection up there for their quarterback, and then Saquon Barkley, former running back of Penn State, which we both love. All right, so now we're gonna go on to the Miami Dolphins at number 5 here. They got 6 minutes left on the clock. So I think right now most people's mindsets are they want Tua, but they did try and trade up earlier in the day to the number 1 pick. They tried trading their 3rd and 5th pick here to try and get up to number 1. So it kind of makes you think, are they all in on Tua here? Matt, what's your thought?
Yes, I believe so. They are all in on Tua.
All right, I mean, Tua's a good pick here. You don't think maybe they'd flip things up and go with Justin Herbert instead?
No, I don't think they'll go Herbert. I think they'll go Tua because Tua fits their offense.
With the 5th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Tua Tagovailoa.
A little bit of a name botch there by the commissioner, but Tua is the number 1 pick nonetheless. Matt, what's your thought here?
I said before it, I knew they were going to pick Tua. I think he's going to fit their offense beautifully. He's mobile, he can run around.
Do you have any concerns about his very extended injury history. I mean, do you have any thoughts? Maybe this is kind of questionable. Him going this high in the draft. I know Skip Bayless. I saw a clip earlier today. He was hesitant about taking Tua in the first round because of his injuries. I mean, do you have any concerns there with injuries?
No, not really, because he showed something the Dolphins saw and nobody else saw. So he showed that he could play without being injured. He was healthy.
He's got plenty of heart.
He's got plenty of heart. He's ready to go. The people in the NFL see things that people in the real world don't see, like Skip Bayless.
Yeah, I mean that's a big part of it. I mean, but you're almost concerned with Miami Dolphins have had an abysmal offensive line. I'm almost worried about, are they even going to be able to give Tua any time back there to protect himself in some of those situations?
Because how many first round picks they got here?
Hell, they might take another quarterback later on just in case. Which actually wouldn't have been bad. Maybe they take like a Jordan Ta'amu or someone back a little farther back in third round. I mean, Jalen Hurts is expected to fall quite far. I mean, they pick up Tua and Jalen, we'll just see a repeat of the Alabama war.
Yeah.
I mean, could be some interesting things to see here. But now we're going to move on. Number 6 pick, Los Angeles Chargers. I have Justin Herbert coming off the board here. They've kind of been hitting at it. Matt?
Yeah, I got to go the same way here, Justin Herbert.
I don't think Justin Herbert's even all that great, though.
Honestly, I'm only saying this because I don't know who else they pick. I was hoping he caught him.
Yeah, he'd almost be a better fit probably at the Patriots, more of a system like that. I just, we don't get to see him a lot out here. We're in the Midwest area, so we don't really get a lot of those West Coast late night games. Luckily, he was in Oregon, so we got to see a little bit more of him. But I've never really been that impressed by those West Coast quarterbacks. I mean, there was a lot of hype around Sam Darnold 2 years ago. I never liked him. I saw him play against Ohio State, and I think he threw 4 picks. And I was like, at that moment, I'm like, why would anybody be sold? This guy needs to stay in college longer. I'm more sold on Herbert than I was on Darnold, so I'm interested to see where this one goes.
With the 6th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Justin Herbert, Oregon.
All right, so pretty straightforward here. That's who everybody thought was going. Mel Kiper said a little bit before this he was thinking maybe an offensive lineman could go here at number 6. Turns out to be Justin Herbert. He looks pretty excited here. Matt, what's your thought going in here?
Yeah, I don't have much thought, but they needed a quarterback. I mean, Tyrod Taylor, the guy's old. They need somebody young and who can run and gun.
I mean, this is their guy. He's got a great skill set behind him. I was just never that impressed with his skill set. What would you have thought if they maybe took an offensive lineman here instead, though?
I thought it would have been okay. Rode out with Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, they could have very easily taken an offensive lineman here and then signed one of those really good quarterbacks we have in free agency right now. That hasn't happened, so good pick here.
Just because they drafted Justin Herbert doesn't mean he's going to be starting. He still has to beat out Tyrod Taylor.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to move on to the 7th pick here. The Carolina Panthers are now on the clock. I have the first offensive, or actually now it's going to be the second offensive lineman to come off the board. I'm taking Jedrick Wills here. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I don't have too much thought on this one. I'm going to go to the Wills guy, too.
Jedrick Wills. I mean, these offensive linemen are really good when you never hear their name in a football game. If I never hear an offensive lineman's name during a broadcast, it means he must be pretty good at something.
Come on, Panther fans. With the 7th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Derrick Brown, defensive tackle, Auburn.
Wow, so they're taking a defensive tackle here. What was the name?
Derrick Brown out of Auburn.
I don't even know if I had him coming off in the first round here. I think I missed somebody. I don't remember who it was, but wow, that's a big one here to take at number 8 already. Especially with guys like Javon Kinlaw on the board, but we got Derrick Brown coming off. What's your thought here, Matt?
I really don't know because I don't even know this guy.
I mean, I've seen a few of his highlights from the season. I mean, he's playing in the SEC, obviously going up against great offensive linemen. Clearly, the Arizona Cardinals saw something here that they liked in him, so they take him here with the number 8th or with the number 7th pick. I guess we're gonna have to see how this one plays out. Let's go straight on to the Arizona Cardinals. They got 3 minutes and 30 seconds left here on the clock in the first round. Matt, what's your thought? Who's going here?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay, I'm taking Tristan Wirfs, the offensive lineman from Iowa. But Jedrick Wills, he's still up there on the board. He's on Mel Kiper's one of his best guys on the board available right now. I'm thinking it's an offensive lineman here. It's either Jedrick Wills or Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah, whoever they pick, if it's one of those guys, we're getting a great player.
All right, let's go. With the 8th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Isiah Simmons, linebacker, Clemson.
All right, so Isiah Simmons finally comes off the board. He slipped just down a little bit. I mean, honestly, I don't know how the Arizona Cardinals couldn't pass up on taking him. I mean, he is he's a nightmare for both sides of the ball. I mean, his teammates are going to be scared of him, and that offense he's facing every weekend is going to be terrified to block him too. He's one of those positionless players that can just play anywhere. I'm excited to see him. Glad he finally came off the board here. Matt, what's your thought?
This guy is going to be something else in the NFL. I rewatched the championship game between Clemson and LSU, and even though Clemson lost, this guy got around the offensive lineman like you wouldn't believe. He made great tackles. He got after Burrow a couple of times. I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, he's not just a great linebacker. He can drop back into coverage too. He really is your do-it-all kind of receiver here. But we have a few names here that haven't come off the board yet. We're on to the number 9th pick from Jacksonville. Do you have anybody specific you want off the board here?
I'll either go with Wirfs or Jedrick Wills.
Well, I'm going the other side of the ball here. Defensive lineman Javon Kinlaw from South Carolina. Man was a man amongst boys this season in the SEC, which is something you don't see a lot. He didn't necessarily put up the shiny numbers like a guy like Chase Young does, but he's a interior defensive lineman, so he's eating up those blocks. So you get the guy on the outside can get the fancy numbers. This guy is a beast. He's going to eat up those blocks, and he can get through that offensive line. Great run blocker, great run guy as well. I mean, he's a total package here. But there's still a few guys we could see come off the board. I mean, we mentioned both of the offensive linemen are still on the board. And this is looking great for the Browns, who have the next pick of the draft at number 10. We're looking at an offensive lineman. Depending on what the Jaguars do here, we could see them pick 3 of the best offensive linemen here. We got Mekhi Becton, Jedrick Wills, and Tristan Wirfs. I mean, all 3 of these guys are expected to be like the best in the draft. So this is turning out really well for some teams that maybe didn't expect it.
In the 2020 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select C.J. Henderson, defensive back, Florida.
All right, so we get our defensive back off the board here, C.J. Henderson from Florida. I didn't have this guy going to 15th. This NFL draft, crazy this year. Matt, what are your thoughts here?
They're getting a good quarterback. This guy, I watched this guy play for Florida a couple games. This guy can cover. This guy can play. I think they got a good pick here.
I mean, I'm surprised we're not. I mean, I know before the draft here about a week ago, a lot of these teams said that all these mock drafts had no idea what anything had in store for. They said everybody was completely off, and I mean, we're seeing that more than ever now. I mean, Isiah Simmons was expected to go number 3 or number 4 and drop down to number 8. Now we get C.J. Henderson jumping way up the boards here. And this is just leaving my Cleveland Browns a perfect opportunity to take just about anybody they want. I mean, if there's any position that they want right now, the field is wide open. There are safeties here that they can take. I wouldn't recommend that, though. I mean, we got wide receivers coming out of our ears. There's CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Judy, Henry Ruggs. But Browns here, number 10 pick. Matt, who do you think they're taking?
I mean, any of those guys would be amazing. They get Jerry Judy.
So would you say that maybe they go wide receiver here instead of somebody else?
I don't know. It's up for grabs.
It's definitely up for grabs.
They could take Tristan Morris, or they could take Jerry Judy, or Henry Ruggs. Man, Henry Ruggs, not Browns.
Bro, I would love to see a speedster like that. Lord knows Browns need a number 3 wide receiver coming in. But I still got to go. We need an offensive lineman. I think the Browns' right tackle ranked number 29th in the league last year. He was abysmal. The Browns' pick is now in, and we're going to get to see that here in a minute after they finish up talking about C.J. Henderson. But final pick here before we go in, I'm taking Jedrick Willis. That's who I'm going with for the Browns here at number 10. Matt?
Yeah, I'm probably going to go Tristan Morris.
Well, okay, we'll get to see which offensive lineman is it going to go to.
With the 10th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Jedrick Wills, tackle, Alabama.
I called it. That's a great pick by the Browns. This guy was expected to be the number 1 offensive tackle off the board. Browns are in desperate need of a guy like this to help boost that offensive line, get that running game going next year, give Baker Mayfield a little bit more time in the pocket. Yeah. Matt, what's your thoughts here on the pick?
This guy is going to be great. Protect Baker Mayfield. You're going to give holes to Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb back there. This guy's going to be a great addition to the Cleveland Browns.
I'm absolutely loving it right now. Our predictions have been a little bit off here so far, but that was to be expected. No one was able to go out and see pro days this year, so no one was expected to be anywhere close to perfect on these drafts, even remotely. So moving on, number 11th pick, New York Jets. This field is wide open. They could, when I said for the Browns, they can take one of those amazing wide receivers, Javon Kinlaw. There's still more offensive linemen on the board, which they definitely need there too, to protect Sam Darnold, maybe get Le'Veon Bell going. Who do you think the New York Jets are taking here?
I gotta go with one of those receivers or offensive linemen. Maybe they pick Tristan Morris.
All right. So I will agree with one of those wide receivers. Sam Darnold needs a target out there. And I know a lot of people are expecting Jerry Judy to come off the board first. I've got to go CeeDee Lamb. I like him better. He's more explosive.
CeeDee Lamb.
I got to go CeeDee Lamb here. Kirk Herbstreit called him the most dynamic wide receiver in the draft this year. And I've got to agree. I've been wowed by him for a while now. That's who I'm going with.
With the 11th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Mekhi Becton, tackle, Louisville.
All right, so we get the offensive lineman that was expected to go to the Browns, but now we see Tristan Wirfs fall even farther down in the draft as well. So we get Mekhi Becton here, is expected to be one of the best offensive linemen in the draft, obviously going number 10. You must be pretty good at something. Matt, what are your thoughts here on the pick?
Yes, Mekhi Becton coming out of Louisville. Small school, they're not on TV a lot, but hey, Lamar Jackson came out of that school and he was still pretty good.
He was pretty good. I mean, reigning MVP now, I believe, right?
Yeah, MVP. So let's see what we can get from Mekhi Becton.
Yeah, and it's making you wonder here. We got a lot of big names expected to come off the board. Does a team like the Las Vegas Raiders or San Francisco's got the 13th pick here? They don't need a lot. They can pick up one of these, weapons, offensive weapons here. But Las Vegas, Matt, what's your pick?
The Raiders? I gotta go with one of those receivers.
You're going one of the receivers again? I got the same thing. I like CeeDee Lamb still on the board, but I think Jerry Judy probably fits the Vegas Raiders maybe a little bit better here. So I'm going to go with Jerry Judy to the Raiders.
Me too.
There are many first-evers that are part of this draft, including the first-ever official draft selection by the Las Vegas Raiders. And I've got it right here. So with the 12th pick of the 2020 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Henry Ruggs, wide receiver, Alabama.
Wow, that's a surprise. No, I don't think anybody expected Henry Ruggs to be the first wide receiver off the board here, but that's a great pick. I had him maybe going, falling back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Thought that'd be a great combination to see. But now both CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Judy are still on the board. Henry Ruggs, the speedster, had a 4.27 at the NFL Combine, just 7 hundredths of a second off the fastest set by, do you remember who set that? Okay, never mind. All right, so we're going to move on. 13th pick here. One of the two teams in the Super Bowl, the San Francisco 49ers. I had them initially taking Andrew Thomas here, so I'm almost interested to see. We still got Tristan Wirfs on the board. I'm almost thinking, I don't know who else maybe they want to take at this position. Maybe give themselves another wide receiver or defensive end here. Maybe they surprise everybody and take the first running back in the draft. There's a lot of open positions here. We might see another corner go, safety. Matt, what's your pick for the 49ers?
49ers, I gotta go Tristan Wirfs. This guy's gotta come off now.
I had him going at 8th. I'm surprised he's fallen this far. Probably one of the biggest needs for the 49ers is their offensive line. I would say I agree with you, but at how wild this thing has gone, I'm going Xavier McKinney, the safety from Alabama. How about that?
Okay.
I'm going to take the safety from Alabama, Xavier McKinney. That's who I'm going with.
Brady's Bucks are moving up one slot to come up in this draft. There's still a tackle on.
All right, so breaking news there. The first trade of the NFL draft, the San Francisco 49ers are trading down, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers moving up to the 13th pick in the draft. Adam Schefter just said they're probably going to take an offensive lineman here, and that means Tristan Wirfs is probably coming off the board, and he's going to play for his Super Bowl contender, Tom Brady and Gronk, down there in Tampa Bay. Matt, what are your thoughts here?
This is going to be great. Wirfs going to be protecting probably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And you got Gronk out there too. Oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be great.
Oh, wow. I mean, finally we get something exciting here happen. Everything was kind of going just one by one. We're finally getting someone just throwing their hat in the mix here. I mean, they were just saying that we haven't had any trades, and impressive that we haven't had any trades. Part of that, I think, is these teams weren't able to see what the other guys wanted to negotiate kind of as much. But let's see what happens here. All right, Matt, so we just had the trade come in. I think we're both agreeing on who comes off the board. They just said most likely an offensive tackle. We're both in agreement here. Tristan Wirfs?
Yes, Tristan Wirfs.
It's about time he comes off the board, and apparently Tampa Bay agrees with that one, so we're both going Tristan Wirfs on this one. Let's get down to that pick now.
With the 13th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Tristan Wirfs, Jacksonville, Iowa.
It is about time. This guy has been waiting. I mean, he was a top 10 pick. He's dropped to 13th. Great for this guy. He's getting one of those big old Big Ten Iowa boys. The man is from Mount Vernon, Iowa. He should be a stud. A great pickup here at the 13th pick. I absolutely love it. Matt, what is your thought?
Oh, man, this is going to be awesome. I just said it. This guy's going to protect Tom Brady. This is going to be great. It's going to be great.
All right, so now we're back to the 49ers. Who do they take? I mean, most of these all of the top offensive linemen are now off the board. Next one maybe is Josh Jones from Houston's, but he hasn't been getting a lot of talk so far. Do you think they just go with a wide receiver here?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, we still have CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Judy on the board here. The only thing I can think of, maybe they're going defensive guy.
Maybe.
Oh man, I'm gonna stick with my pick for I had them taken at 13th. I'm going Xavier McKinney. Matt, what's your pick?
Yeah, we either go Xavier McKinney, go the guy from LSU. Who's that top cornerback from LSU? Yeah, there's Grant Delpit, but there's the other
Christian
guy.
Fulton.
Yeah, Christian Fulton.
I have him coming off the board here pretty soon. So yeah, either one of those guys could come off too. A lot of big guys we could have right here. Interested to see what happens. Give us your official pick. You said either one of those wide receivers or a corner. Give me who you're thinking, Matt.
I'm thinking Delpit.
You're taking Delpit? All right. Well, let's wait and see.
With the 14th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle, South Carolina.
Whoo! The wide receivers dropping even farther. We thought maybe Jerry Judy was getting a little phone call there. Not the case. We got Javon Kinlaw. I had him going 9th. This is a great pick for these guys. They didn't need to add a lot, but they're going to put Javon Kinlaw next to Nick Bosa. Oh, Oh boy, that is a defensive line to be scared of next year. Matt, what is your thought on this pick?
This is a great pick. I mean, they could have picked one of those receivers, CeeDee Lamb or Judy, but Kinlaw is a great defensive player, and put him right next to Nick Bosa. This would be great dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree with that. We're gonna go now to the Denver Broncos, Matt. Denver Broncos here, number 15th pick. They're on the clock now. What are you thinking here? I had them maybe picking C.J. Henderson, but he came off the board much sooner than I thought. He came off at 9. What are you thinking here? Maybe Grant Delpit again?
Maybe Grant Delpit. They might go to the receiver route. You got to keep those receivers in mind.
I mean, Denver could use an offensive weapon like that, especially because they just lost Emmanuel Sanders, didn't they? This year? Yeah, so this could be an super opportunity to get somebody back. Who's your pick here, Matt?
I'm going to go Jerry Judy.
They're going to go Jerry Judy. I'm going to go, they must be seeing something in these offensive players while they're dropping a little bit more than people expected. So I'm going to keep it defensive, and I'm saying the Denver Broncos are taking Christian Fulton, the cornerback from LSU. That's who I'm going with here.
With the 15th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Jerry Judy, wide receiver, Alabama.
All right, finally we get the second wide receiver coming off the board, Jerry Judy. Matt, I know you love this guy. Great route runner. He was my number 2 wide receiver in the draft. I love him too. I just like CD a little bit more. I mean, but this guy, he's making an instant impact on any offense he's being put on. Denver, we were saying it right before, they needed a wide receiver to replace, Emmanuel Sanders, who they just lost before last season. Oh, Matt, what are you thinking here?
Man, this guy's going to be great. He's going to help that team down in Mile High City. Man, we're going to see something from this guy. Who's your quarterback down there in Denver? Whoever he is, he's going to get a lot of help.
What is it now? Drew Lock? Is that who they're on?
Yeah.
I think that's who they're on now. All right, coming up next, the Atlanta Falcons. Matt, what are your thoughts here? What do they need? Who do you want going there?
This is tough. I don't know who you got.
I have K'Lavon Chasen, defensive end from LSU. They need one of those edge rushers down there, and he's one of those instant starters, making a big impact in his rookie year kind of players. That's who I got there.
Yeah, that could be a great pick.
But we also have, if they're looking defensive end wise, which I kind of think they might be looking towards. Granted, they could also go wide receiver here, max somebody up with Julio Jones, get CD over there. But if they're going defensive end, we still got 2 Big Ten guys, AJ Epinesa and Yetur Gross-Matos, your Penn State boy. Either one of those could be good selections here. So who's your pick, Matt?
You know what? I like to see the other receiver get off the board.
You want CD off the board? I think that's a good selection. I've got K'Lavon Chasen, though, from LSU. All right, let's see how it goes.
With the 16th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select A.J. Terrell, defensive back, Clemson.
All right, so we're getting A.J. Terrell off the board here, cornerback from Clemson. I had him going back at 24. This NFL draft's got me running loops right now. Matt, what's your initial reaction here?
Don't know too much about AJ Terrell, but he's coming out of Clemson, so he's got to be a top player.
That probably means he locked down somebody in that in those playoffs against Ohio State and Alabama, or not in LSU. So I don't know too much about him either, but he's a star, no doubt. One of the best from last year. I mean, behind Jeffrey Okudah, there wasn't really necessarily a lot of great corners coming off this early. We had C.J. Henderson a little bit earlier, and now we got A.J. Terrell coming off. So interested to see how these first-year guys make an impact. Now we got our other co-host Mike, his favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys. They're coming off here. Matt, what are your thinkings here?
Oh man, Dallas Cowboys. Wouldn't it be nice to see them in that boys uniform?
It would. Give them another offensive weapon can only help them. I think maybe they go a little bit more on the defensive end though.
Yeah, they can pick Yetur Gross-Matos here.
Yeah, I mean, they could take one of those Big Ten guys. Or I said previously the Falcons should have taken Cleavon Chasen. Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, they can pick Espinoza.
Yeah, either one of those. I mean, maybe they go corner or safety here. I'm kind of up in the air. Matt, give me your official pick.
I go defenses, Rock. I'm going Yetur Gross-Matos.
Oh, you're taking Matos off the board early. Maybe you're showing a little bit of that Penn State bias there, but I've got to stick with my pick. I took him for the Falcons, but I think they're going to take Cleavon Chasen here. That's who I'm going with.
With the 17th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select T.D. Lamb, wide receiver, Oklahoma.
And there we go.
There we finally go. C.D. Lamb finally coming off the board. Can't wait to see him. It's in that silver and blue down there. You know, Jerry Jones was happy to get a guy like that this far down in the draft. Nonetheless, I mean, I had this guy coming off at 11th, falls down to 17th. Not too far, but definitely something to be happy about for those Cowboys fans. I'm sure our buddy Mike is jumping up and down and getting a talent like that out there. What are your thoughts on this pick, Mac?
Man, this guy's gonna fit right in Dallas. Man, I can't wait to see what this guy does. Man, especially I don't think Cobb is coming back, so they got C.D. Lamb out here. This guy's gonna be really fit with Dallas.
All right, we're back. Now we're on the 18th pick. We're back to the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins made their quarterback decision to Tagovailoa. They picked him at 5th. Do you think they get him some protection here? Take an offensive lineman?
Maybe.
I mean, there's not really a lot of first-round talent guys left. A bit of a stretch here would be to take Josh Jones, the offensive lineman from Houston. Other than that, I don't really see a lot of things that they can do for him. Maybe they give to a wide receiver. We got Justin Jefferson still on the board and T. Higgins, two amazing wide receivers there from Clemson and then LSU.
And it is very possible we might get our first running back on the board.
We could get a first running back there. There was talks maybe Jonathan Taylor to the Miami Dolphins. I've heard that one. Interested to see who is the first running back that comes off the board. Do we see one today or do we not see one until tomorrow in the second and third rounds? So, Matt, give me your prediction. Who are the Miami Dolphins taking with the 18th pick?
I don't know.
Well, that's very insightful, buddy.
I'm sorry.
I mean, this thing has got me, scratching my head. I have no idea what's coming next.
You don't know either.
Yeah. You know what? Miami Dolphins, I'm sticking to who I put down on my mock draft. They're taking the safety Xavier McKinney. That's who I'm going with. All right. Well, I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see at this point.
With the 18th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Austin Jackson, tackle, USC.
Interesting pick, Austin Jackson. I didn't have him coming off in the first round here, but an interesting pick nonetheless. Offensive tackle, I had just said that they probably need somebody to protect Tua there. Matt, what do you know on him? What's your thought?
I've seen him play a couple of times. He did pretty good when I saw him. So let's see what he can do down in Miami, Florida.
They're showing some graphics on screen. I do kind of remember this guy. He had donated bone marrow to his sister. I remember, I think they had a story on it a couple years ago, or last year, this past season, somewhere around there. Obviously, we got a great guy. Probably a little bit of the reason he slipped down, maybe a little bit. Probably slipped down in some of the mocks. Great to see him coming off here at 18th. Great guy. Great thing he's doing for his sister. I'm excited to see this. I don't know too much about him. Can't wait to see. Then, so that's going to take 18th pick Miami Dolphins. Now 19th pick, we're back to the Las Vegas Raiders. Matt, what are you thinking here? I was thinking probably a defensive end. You got some pretty good guys out there. What's your thought?
I'm going to go Yetur Gross-Matos, the guy from Happy Valley. Going to come in and help you.
That's a strong pick. I was in between these two guys. I'm going to take A.J. Epinesa. He's the defensive end from Iowa. We're both picking Big Ten guys here. Obviously, great edge rushers. Either one probably at this point is a great pick, but we still have Cleavon Chasen out here. he could probably go here as well, but I'm definitely going to go AJ Epinesa.
So we're happy here to announce that tonight the Las Vegas Raiders will host the 2020 NFL Draft. Congratulations to Mark Davis, the Raiders organization, and Raiders Nation. We look forward to being there in Las Vegas, and congratulations. And now, with the 19th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Damon Arnett, defensive back, Ohio State.
Oh, yes! Damon Arnett, the defensive back from Ohio State, probably one of the most underrated corners in the draft. Oh, man, that puts a smile on my face. Not at all who I was expecting. But before we go into that, we did just hear that Vegas Raiders will get the 2021 NFL Draft since they missed out on this one. Congratulations to them. But, wow, Las Vegas Raiders taking Damon Arnett. Oh, man, I just got to take a moment. Matt, why don't you take this one real quick?
All right, Damon Arnett, this guy did a lot of good things at Ohio State. Oh, man. When I saw this guy play on TV, this guy just amazed me every single thing he did. Wow.
Oh yeah, I watch Ohio State every weekend, and watching him the past two or three seasons, can't remember at this point. The Buckeyes just have so many amazing deep corners. No surprise that another one gets taken here. I mean, they keep producing top quality guys. It's just another example of it. He's going to make a huge impact right off the bat, I think, especially down there in Vegas, where there's not really a lot of playmakers down there at the moment, and not really a lot of tools on the defense because they got rid of Khalil Mack just the 2 years ago, I think, at this point. So some new faces for John Gruden and the group down there. I can't wait to see what this means for the Vegas Raiders and what this means for Ohio State. I mean, another first-round defensive back. This could impact recruiting for them as well. They keep producing these top guys. I mean, Damon Arnett wasn't supposed to go in the first round, but here he is. Buckeyes pumping out another one. Can't wait. And now we only got like 12 picks left, I think. Jacksonville Jaguars again, the number 20th pick. They took C.J. Henderson with the 9th. Kind of surprised there. Matt, what do you think is going on here?
Jacksonville?
Yeah, Jacksonville at 20.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll just have to see. They picked the defensive guy the first time. Who they picked with that first pick?
They took C.J. Henderson from Florida.
Yeah. Maybe they just keep going up with that defense, you know?
They can bump up the defense, I think, too. I think maybe Xavier McKinney, kind of a do-it-all defensive back there. I think that's what I'm going to go with here. I'm going to take Xavier McKinney.
Yeah, I'm going to go there, too.
Pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Clavon Chaisson, linebacker, LSU.
All right, so we finally get Clavon Chaisson. I had him going much earlier. I had him going 16th. He's fallen down to 20th now. Jacksonville Jaguars picking up an absolute weapon here. He's kind of not necessarily just a linebacker. He's also one of those edge rushers that have become very popular in the NFL in recent years. Matt, what's your thought here?
Yeah, this guy's going to be great on this defense. I mean, he's coming out of LSU. His team just won a national championship. So this is going to be a great addition.
I mean, yeah, I love this guy. I love this pick. I'm excited to see what he does. But now we're going to move on to the Philadelphia Eagles. This is going to be their first pick at the 21st spot. Up in the air on this one, too. They might need a linebacker. Probably, I'm going to tell you right now, probably go defensive side of the football. That's what we've been trending here. Most of these picks here have all been defensive guys since we had the wide receivers get picked very slim, too. So I'm taking Kenneth Murray, Oklahoma, the linebacker from Oklahoma. What do you think?
Either Esperanza or Gross Mateos.
There you go. I mean, yeah, those would both be good picks here. I'm interested to see this draft once again, just completely destroying our expectations. But we got 3 minutes to find out here, so we'll be right back when they figure this out.
With the 21st pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Jaylen Trager, wide receiver, TCU.
Oh, wow. That is a surprise here. Out of all the wide receivers off the board, it's Jaylen Trager from TCU.
Man.
Wow, that's a surprise. I knew TCU had some weapons, although those weren't the guys I thought was going to come off the board here. Are you surprised that we see Jalen Trager come off before T. Higgins or Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, I am very surprised. Doug Peterson must see something in this guy. So
I mean, TCU, I know Ohio State faced him two years ago, I think it was, and I know their wide receiver corps. I don't know if he was on that one, but they exploded in at least the first half of that game. If he was one of those guys, then I can definitely see what they were seeing in him. So we're gonna go on 22nd pick here, Minnesota Vikings. What do you got?
we gotta get you two on the board somehow.
You're sticking with your guy. You're sticking with Yeater. I'm going.
We're gonna go 22nd to Minnesota. The next pick.
Oh man, I'm taking Minnesota. I'm sticking with Xavier McKinney. He's got to come off here at some point. He's too good for him not to come off. So I think that's who I'm going to go with. I'm going Xavier McKinney at 22.
With the 22nd pick in the 2020 draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Justin Jefferson, wide receiver, LSU.
I like that pick. That's a good pick there.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson. They need a guy to replace Diggs, who went to Buffalo. This will be good. This will be real good for
I like it. He's a great offensive weapon. Probably, I mean, he's one of the best wide receivers from last season in college football. I loved watching him whenever I could last year. Doesn't always give you the biggest highlights, but he's consistent out there, and that's exactly what the Vikings are going to need. They keep making these playoff pushes if they're not making it just quite far enough. So hopefully with this addition, maybe it gets them one step closer to getting up there.
Yes.
All right, now we're going to the Chargers. That's okay. Yeah, to the Los Angeles Chargers. Matt, what are your thoughts here?
Wait, wasn't so the Patriots traded this away?
Apparently, I'm looking down at my board. I'm like, wait, this was supposed to be the Patriots pick. Apparently now it belongs to Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know when I missed that, but what's your thought here?
I don't know. Yeah, you don't know. They could go.
I mean, they took Justin Herbert. And they got their quarterback here, so yeah, probably a good idea to get that defensive end to go along with them. I initially had Yetur going here, but it was to the Patriots. So is that who you're gonna stick with, Yetur here?
Yeah, Yetur.
All right. Then I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go AJ Epinesa here.
Okay.
With the 23rd pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Kenneth Murray, linebacker, Oklahoma.
This is a good pick here. I had him going off just right there at 21. Clearly, the Chargers saw something. They were willing to give up a second and third round pick to get to this spot to the Patriots. So obviously they saw something here that they just couldn't pass up on. Matt, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, Kenneth Murray, this guy coming out of Oklahoma, this guy was really good. I really liked what he did in Oklahoma. I think he'll do pretty good here.
Now, do you think this guy is worth giving up that second and third round pick to move up for?
Bill Belichick has his way, so we'll just have to see.
Most likely, the Patriots gave up their second round pick to get Mohamed Sanu, so most likely he just wanted to get a second round pick, and now they're going to have 2 third rounds. Most likely shopping out there for a quarterback. Better to pick one up in the second round and pay less than pick here in the first and have to pay just more. Bill Belichick loves saving money however he can, and this is just another way to do it. I will probably see tomorrow or Saturday that they'll probably take their quarterback. I'm thinking maybe they'll take Jacob Eason might be on the board, Jalen Hurts. But potentially maybe we see Kelly Bryant from Missouri. He's in this draft. And then maybe a little bit of a surprise, Cole McDonald, the quarterback from Hawaii. That's what I'm thinking. But I like this pick here at 23 for the Chargers, Kenneth Murray. Then next up, we got the New Orleans Saints. Matt, what are you thinking here?
I'm not going to do Yetur because of the time I'm going to check this out.
Watch him take him now.
Yeah, they'll probably take him down. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know who they're going to take.
Oh, dude, they've got me in a loop. I initially had them taking a corner. So, you know what? I think I might stick with a corner here. I'm going to go Christian Fulton. I picked him up at 17th, but he's still out there. So I'm going to take Christian Fulton here. And
Okay.
since you don't want to make a pick, we're just going to make you keep your turn.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you do it.
I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I'm actually kind of surprised we're not seeing some more of these guys come off. It's been a wild draft so far. Once again, we just got to wait and see what happens next.
With the 24th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Cesar Ruiz, center, Michigan.
Okay. Cesar Ruiz from Michigan. I did not have him coming off the board in the first round here. Bit of a surprise to see his name being called here so early. I mean, Sean Payton clearly seeing some guy. I didn't think they had too many issues on the offensive line. Clearly, Sean Payton thought differently. Matt, what's your reaction here?
I don't think this guy's going to be a top-notch player. I think he's not going to be effective. Not just because he came out of Michigan. This guy.
That's why I would say it.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason why. But, I mean, this guy sure as hell didn't stop Chase Young or Yetur Montes or AJ Espinoza. Anything.
I'm kind of surprised to see his name get called here in the first round. They probably could have waited and picked him up in the second or third, honestly. I don't see this guy being a star. I think we may have just, granted, guys in this position tend to prove people wrong. You always see these 20 picks turn into something special, so you never know. Maybe another nobody turned into fame here. I didn't think the offensive line at Michigan was all that great as of recently.
Hey, Patterson, he got a butt kicked.
Hey man, good on this guy though. Clearly they saw something they liked. But we're gonna keep on moving along. Minnesota Vikings back now with the 25th pick. Who do you got? They just picked Justin Jefferson at 22. So what are you thinking here at 25?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I initially had the Vikings at 22 taking a corner. So I think I'm gonna stick that again. I'm gonna go Christian Fulton from LSU. That's who I'm going with here.
From LSU?
Yeah.
Let me think. We'll take one. Is that 25? Yeah. I'm going to stick with Yetur. Maybe they pick Yetur.
All right, Yetur, what's the 7th pick in a row? Maybe they take him here. Maybe not. I guess we're going to have to find out. All right, so we just had another trade announced. San Francisco 49ers traded the 31st, the 117th, and the 160th, I think.
Yes, I think.
That's what it was. They have a lot of numbers in there. They're expecting now the 49ers to take a wide receiver here. Coming off the board, I'm probably going to go T. Higgins if they're looking wide receiver, though. Matt, what about you?
I'm going to say more route. T. Higgins.
Do you think this is a good move by them to move up? I mean, they're spending basically 3 picks to get this one. Oh, and looks like the pick is in now, so we're gonna stay right here.
With the 25th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver, Arizona State.
Okay, so we just got Brandon Ayuk off the board. A lot of scouts had him either going first or second round here. Clearly, we see him now going in the first. I'm kind of surprised. I definitely thought we were to see T. Higgins come off. I think he's a little more talented. Brandon Ayuk here is got an 81-inch wingspan. That's definitely going to be useful here in the NFL. He's one of those top receivers. He was right up there. He just didn't get thrown in a lot of first-round mocks. But this isn't as terrible a pick as some people might make it out to be. This is actually a good pick, good receiver. Didn't get a lot of screen time, however. Just being out in Arizona, Pac-12 doesn't get a lot of it. Matt, what's your thought?
This guy coming out of Arizona State, small college. But, they're not small enough, and this guy, Brandon, I've seen him play a couple times. He improved. I'm sure he's going to be pretty good here.
All right, now we're going on to the 26th pick. Back to the Miami Dolphins. They get another one here. Matt, what do you think they're doing?
Are they going to go defense or are they going to go offense?
Well, they took Austin Jackson in the last pick.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, looks like they're going to stay on offense, and I think it's happening right now. The first running back is going to come off the board, Jonathan Taylor. I'm calling it.
Jonathan Taylor?
I'm going Jonathan Taylor to Miami Dolphins right here. Matt, what do you think?
I'm going to go Isaiah Wilson out of Georgia, the offensive tackle.
Oh, you think they're going another O-lineman, huh?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a bad pick.
The Miami Dolphins have traded the 26th pick to the Green Bay Packers. With the 26th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Jordan Love, quarterback, Utah State.
Wow, the extremely overrated quarterback in my book goes now to back up Aaron Rodgers. What do you think this means for Aaron Rodgers up there? Are they just looking for a backup, or are they looking to replace him in the next few years?
Maybe a replacement, but backing up Aaron Rodgers, this guy's gonna get better. So maybe that's why they picked him. Aaron Rodgers picks him up a little bit. He'll be good in a couple of years. But he's
God.
not starting right
I mean, yeah, hopefully that's why they pick him in this situation. Kind of interesting to see that they traded up to get him, because I think they could have waited at 30th where they had their pick originally.
Yeah.
Going into today. I don't know. I'm interested to see how this turns out. Jordan Love obviously won't be starting. He'll probably, maybe we see something similar to Jimmy Garoppolo, where he sits behind a really good quarterback for a few years, shows a little something, then goes out to some other team and takes him to the Super Bowl. Yeah, only got one scholarship. I mean, they said he was 5'7" in high school. Now he's 6'3". It's quite the grow up there. All right. So now 27th pick here, Seattle Seahawks. You've been begging all night for somebody to take Yetur. You think he's finally going?
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe.
Seahawks are like one of my favorite teams.
Okay, I got them taking Josh Jones from Houston. He's an offensive lineman. That's who I'm going with here at 27.
So with the 27th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Jordan Brooks.
Jordan Brooks, you're taking a linebacker out of Texas Tech. What do you think about this guy? I wasn't expecting a linebacker here.
Yeah, me either. I wanted them to pick Yetur.
I know, you're basically just begging at this point. I'm actually surprised we've had a lot of these defensive guys not come off where we thought they would. But now Jordan Brooks jumping up, another one of these guys that weren't necessarily a first round, thought necessarily. But Texas Tech, obviously, these guys are seeing something that we're not. Definitely a good edge rusher, too. Not just a linebacker. I think it's an interesting move here. The guys talking on the pre-show were mainly saying that Seattle was probably going to take either a defensive end or an O-lineman, which is kind of where we drew our picks from maybe a little bit. So kind of surprised to see that all of us were wrong in that, but... that's just, this NFL draft's just proving us wrong in just about everything, All right, Then we're going to have 28th pick. We get the Baltimore Ravens, Matt. What do you think they're going to do? You got another one of our AFC North buddies. What do you think they're going to do here? You got any thoughts here for number 28, Matt?
I don't really care who they pick, because whoever they pick, I'm going to like them.
All right, then. I'm going to take... I initially had him taking Justin Jefferson. I thought he'd be a good mix over there with Hollywood. But I like another wide receiver on the board still. I'm going to go T. Higgins for the Ravens here.
Maybe Patrick Queen.
Yeah, that'd be not bad either.
2020 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Patrick Queen, linebacker, LSU.
All right, so we now see Patrick Queen coming here out of LSU. Matt, tell us a little bit.
Yeah, Patrick Queen, I hate to say he's going to this team, but, he's a good linebacker coming out of LSU. If I was the Ravens, I'd be picking him, so.
I mean, yeah, he's a good pickup here. Anybody off of that LSU team this year is definitely a good pick anywhere in this draft. No surprise we're seeing some more SEC guys come off the board here. Maybe a few less than we expected, though.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna have the Tennessee Titans at number 29. Do you have any thoughts on who they might pick here?
Yeah,
You're going back to Eater again. The only team you didn't want Eater to go to was the Baltimore Ravens. Oh man.
Already got AJ Esperanza still hanging on. Hey, they could draft their first running back.
Yeah, maybe we see the first running back. Although I don't think they're gonna go looking to replace Derrick Henry already. Maybe give him another option back there. Though I don't think Derrick Henry really wants to share those snaps too much. I'm gonna have him going defensive lineman here. Neville Gallimore from Oklahoma. I think he's a good pickup here at 29. That's who I'm going with. Yeah, they have plenty of options. They could fit any position they want. We still got some safeties on the board, some corners. That we're still waiting. Like Grant Telpett still up on the board. Xavier McKinney, who's been on the top of Mel Kiper's list for best available since about, I think he had him at the 15th pick. And we're just seeing other guys fall. And then we still got Christian Fulton from LSU. So we'll get to see here who's coming up. But Tennessee's up next.
9th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. The Tennessee Titans select Isiah Wilson, tackle, Georgia.
All right, so the Tennessee Titans go with another offensive lineman here. Probably a good pick considering they love running the football. It's pretty much their game plan. Give it to Derrick Henry and let the big man eat. So definitely a good idea to keep building that offensive line. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, this guy is pretty good. I saw him play for Georgia a little bit, and I think he's going to be a great addition to this Tennessee offensive line, helping Henry get through.
Yeah, so Miami Dolphins going to be back on the board here since they traded with the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to stick with my pick from earlier. I think we're going to see the first running back off the board, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a running back.
Now, do you think same Jonathan Taylor, or are you thinking maybe your J.K. Dobbins?
I think probably Jonathan Taylor.
What about DeAndre Swift? Seems to be jumping up people's boards. What are you thinking?
Maybe DeAndre Swift. Maybe.
I'm going to stick with my guy JT, but it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing. Most likely, since we're calling for a running back, they're probably going to pick like a safety or something. So, you know, with how this draft is going, I wouldn't even be surprised.
With the 30th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Noah Igbinoghene, defensive back, Auburn.
Okay, I don't know how to say that name, but Noah Igbinoghene from the cornerback from Auburn. I'm surprised this is the cornerback that comes off here. I guess Miami wanted this guy more than other guys like Trevon Diggs or Christian Fulton.
Yeah.
Good luck to the announcers next year on saying that name.
Yeah.
Matt, what's your thought on this pick here?
Nothing really. They
Yeah.
could have got anybody but this guy. Like, I don't even.
It's kind of a letdown because we were expecting maybe one of our Big Ten guys to go, or maybe your bigger name or defensive end running. Maybe we're going to see the first running back. So almost a little bit of a letdown here, but still, nonetheless, it's a good pick. He's a solid player. Comes from a family of athletes, and he's living up to that right now. Most likely, let's face it, he's on the Dolphins. He won't be in 3 years. It's going to put it simple. The Dolphins suck. They're not going to be good anytime soon. I'm sorry to these players that are drafted there. I truly am, because I don't see much going on there in the Dolphins, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see these players make their big time plays at a place like Miami. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
All right, so 31st pick is going to be the Minnesota Vikings. Matt, who do you think? I had them taking Trevon Diggs earlier, T. Higgins. I think I'm going to stick with one of those. I'm going to stick with Trevon Diggs on this. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Trevon Diggs here. Going to his brother's former team here.
You're not going to hold on to Yetur?
No.
Are you giving up hope on your boy?
Maybe.
Oh man, you hate to see it, man. Maybe he'll go first pick to Cincinnati for the second round tomorrow. Maybe. We still got two more picks left here. We got the Vikings here, and then the Chiefs next. Maybe you'll maybe your guy will go sometime soon.
With the 31st pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Jeff Gladney, defensive back, TCU.
All right, Jeff Gladney. Actually, this is just about where I had him in my mock draft. Finally, glad to see I'm somewhere close to where I was. I was right with them taking a corner in this spot. Jeff Gladney, solid corner here. I really was impressed with some of the things I saw from him. He's a great man-to-man cover. Really doesn't get beat that often. I think a great pickup here for the Vikings. They needed a corner here, and I think they found their guy. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, this Jeff Gladney, this guy's going to be pretty good. I like him on this Minnesota team. I think he's a little underrated. I think he'll fit in real well. This Minnesota team, who is, as a team, is underrated. So.
Right, yeah, I mean, he's also playing in the Big 12. You know, not a lot of these defensive guys get really the recognition that they deserve sometimes because they're going up against offenses that'll put up 49 points, 50 points every game. So, you know, it kind of makes those defenders look bad, but, you know, it's not always one guy getting beat the whole time. And that certainly wasn't the case with this guy. He didn't get beat that often. This is a good pickup here. And after that, it's going to look like we're on to the final pick of the draft. We got the Kansas City Chiefs. I initially had them taking Jeff Gladney, so maybe I think they're sitting in a good spot here that they could take either Trevon Diggs or Xavier McKinney. Matt, I don't know if you're still with us here. Looks like we're having some connection issues. But I'm thinking the Kansas City Chiefs are going to go with... God, man, this is a hard one. I'm going to go Xavier McKinney. He was supposed to go a lot earlier. I don't think they're going to miss up on the chance to get a guy like this at this position. Andy Reid's a smart guy, so he'll take somebody smart here.
All right, I'm going to go with Yetur Gross-Matos. I'm pulling in everything.
You're going to stick with your guy to the very end, huh?
Yeah, just give him the pick. Last pick in the first round.
Okay, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad pickup. I mean, get a strong defensive end here. You didn't hear it because we disconnected there, but I called for Xavier McKinney because I just think he's too good of a player for them to pass up on at this point. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, Xavier McKinney, pretty decent player.
All right, so we got a little over 4 minutes for us, but it'll be about 3 seconds for you guys. We'll be right back for the 30-second pick.
With the 32nd pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs select Clyde Edwards-Helaire, LSU.
Oh my God! This was not the running back anybody thought was going to be coming off if anybody came off in the first round, but the Kansas City Chiefs just made a massive move there. Massive statement. Matt, what do you got for this one?
I literally just said, hey, he's not running back from LSU still on? And you're like, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Oh, maybe he'll get picked. Look, he just got picked.
Wow. I am surprised that they went with Clyde here instead of really the top 3 running backs of the past year. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's been and J.K. were top running back in the past 2 years. So I'm really surprised that they went with Clyde here over any of those guys. And then DeAndre Swift he did really well last year in Georgia. This draft just had me going crazy this year. I was completely unpredictable, amazing. We still got a lot of big names on the board for tomorrow's draft. I'm expecting to see. I mean, we're gonna have your guy Yetur Gross-Matos. We got AJ Epinesa still up there. Xavier McKinney's on the board. Christian Fulton's on the board. We got Trevon Diggs still on the board. We got so many names out there. Tomorrow is gonna be interesting, especially because we're gonna have these 3 running backs. Clyde, I mean, no downfall to him. I think he's a great running back. He did really amazing things at LSU last year. It doesn't help that he had an amazing offensive line and then all those other guys just to draw attention away from him. But he shows great breakaway speed. He's able to make those cuts, and he's one of those smaller running backs that can just get lost when he goes through that offensive line there. But if you got anything else to say, I think that's going to wrap up our live reaction of the first round. We're going to do a quick little recap here. Matt, what were your takeaways from the first day here of the draft?
This is surprising. Like you said, so many guys that we thought were going to get picked were not picked. Like my man, Yetur Gross-Matos was not picked. It was crazy. Grand Outfit didn't go.
Yeah, he's still on the board too. I mean, it was crazy the amount of guys that we didn't think were going to go first round ended up going first round. A lot of these first rounders ended up just haven't even gotten picked. I mean, Xavier McKinney was on Mel Kiper's best available for probably half of this first round, and no one looked at him. Makes you start questioning what are these NFL teams seeing that maybe we aren't. Probably gonna have to go look over some film going into tomorrow, see maybe what's going on. We won't be doing a live coverage of this, not a live, but we won't be doing a reaction of the draft for the next 2 days. But we will hopefully getting up some sort of reaction videos for the rest of the draft, and the draft is in entirety coming up here shortly. Without any further ado, it was a great NFL. It was a great draft. Really cool to see how they were able to do it. They definitely kept the show exciting. But here at Casual Sports Report want to extend a special thank you to everybody working through this coronavirus. We understand it's a hard time, and the country wouldn't be working without you guys. Thank you very much, Matt. You got anything to say?
Yeah, let's just stay strong. Just keep going. This thing will end eventually. Everything will go back to normal. So let's hope for the best.
All right, signing off here at Casual Sports Report Quarantine. I am Alek.
And I'm Matt Morrison. We'll see you next time.